Hello, everyone, and welcome back, bitch, to the season 4 Yes God Roundtable, bitch. Without further ado, I would like to introduce my panel. Okay, for those of you that don't know and that are just joining us, honey, you will know that the Yes God Roundtable is a space created, honey, yes, God, to share in our experiences, girl, so that we can push, hallelujah, so we can create, amen, so that we can connect, girl. Hallelujah, bitch. We need unity in the community. And that's exactly what this space is created for. Forgive me, I look like somebody's overripened gay uncle, but girl, please, nonetheless, I'm that girl. Amen. So let us go ahead and introduce the panel for this season 4, honey. Introducing the cats meow, honey. What's the tea? Yeah.
Hey.
Conscious TV, honey. Hello, God.
Hello. The T is me. Yes, God.
Meow, hello, God.
Hello.
And joining us for this season of the Yes God Roundtable, captivating Christian, honey.
Hello. I think I'm delayed, but hello.
Why me? You know who you look like?
Thank you for having me.
The Oracle on the Matrix.
Ooh.
The new Matrix?
The original Matrix.
I can do the Oracle. I can do Oracle Fish.
Give an Oracle to you.
All I gotta do is do my little. You know, I used to do in school. I was an emo bitch. Okay, I used to do one of these because I was in like a witch coven, girl. Well, I thought it was, child, but it was really the crazy guy kid. I went through a stage, child. I used to walk around like this, like I was fucking Yoda, bitch. Okay, come fuck with me if you want to. Yeah, it wasn't a coven. It was just a group of crazy white kids who needed to express themselves.
Child, y'all was doing a craft, honey, called to the witches of the North Tower, whatever that shit was.
I bind you, Nancy, from doing harm to yourself and harm against other people.
Right. I bind you, Nancy.
Child, but Nancy was crazy. And actually, one of the boys, and he was like her a little bit. I was like, child, let me get up out of here before he sacrificed all of our ass, girl. We ain't got time with this girl.
The actress who played her, she did not age well.
Well, that's what happens when you're a meth mouth. That's what happens, girl. White people and drugs equals, you bitch, you look like a meth mouth the rest of your life, girl. For the rest of your days. Hello, chat, and welcome, honey. Thank you guys again for joining us for this season of the Yes God Roundtable, honey, season 4. Again, this is the panel. Amen. We do have a guest that will be joining us, and we'll be getting into some things. You guys will be quite surprised on who will be sitting with us today. Yes, we're going to get into some things. But before we go there, I just want to catch up with everybody. Let's start off with Kat. How's everything been?
Everything has been well. Once again, thank you.
I'm sorry. I said cat. My bad. Cat
I'm sorry.
Cat sounds.
Okay. Use your vowels, Swipey. Use your vowels.
I said cat.
My bad. Sorry, I didn't hear
Okay. You can start off, though. You can start off, Cap.
Let's start off with the new panel member, Captivating Christian.
I thought that's how it was going to go since I was the new one on the board. But everything has been well. Thank you once again for the invite. I look forward to really engaging with you guys and having a good time.
Girl, hold on one second. You don't. If it's gonna do the visual thing, if you want to not cam up for this round,
please. Can I? Thank you.
Fine. Yeah, because the thing is.
I don't know what's going on right now.
It's all good, boo. So real quick, you're new over here to the platform, but you're not new because you've always been a wonderful supporter of the platform. But just to introduce yourself, what you do, where you come from, honey. Hello, God. Get the kids into Captivating Christian, all the things.
Sure, no problem. So my name is Captivating Christian of CCNTV, where I definitely talk about politics and social issues and things that are affecting us, our communities as a whole. I am originally from Queens, New York, then to PA for school, and Maryland is where I reside now currently. So,
okay. Oh,
yes, that's it. Okay. You can't tell people too much on here. You know that.
You already know because the kid. Okay, TRAMEL, what's going on, honey?
Well, Not a whole lot. I've just been laying low, not really too much bothering with the girls these days. You know, the girls are definitely girling all over the place and in these web reality social media streets, and I've just been laying low. I've really been working on my music, working on bringing back the corporate mouth because people have been bothering me about it. So I was like, oh, well, might as well do it. And yeah, I just got a few projects coming up. Music. I'm now a Sony distributed artist.
Yeah.
You know, I'm doing a compilation project. So, you know, it's called The Paradigm. Please check it out when it comes out. It's coming out in March, you know, sometime in March. It's a compilation project with some other LGBTQ artists. So it's my first time collaborating on a whole project with other people. And I enjoyed it. It's going to be great, I think. I put in some good work. And, you know, that's just been me chilling.
Okay. Did you freeze now? Bitch.
Yeah. Rolls into the ball. Calm down.
How about now?
You're good.
Okay. These planes, girl. These planes. Kat?
Well, for those who may or may not know, my album just came out, Leo. It's out now on all streaming platforms. Every Saturday, I have a podcast that airs both on YouTube and on all streaming platforms called The Kitty Box. And I have content of, you know, different things that I'm doing coming out.
Hello, God. HR Fish is in the building. To direct our path and to pass out these write-ups on the kids, honey. Conscious TV, baby. What's been going on?
It is Latanya TV, and I am happy to be here and excited for season quadrillion. This is going to be eternal and everlasting, so you might as well just get used to it, you guys. Life has been really great. I just celebrated my 32K on YouTube, which was like amazing. So
awesome.
The bitch is growing and elevating and working on merchandise to accommodate all of the newbies who want to, you know, be in my likeness. So it's just a lot going on, and I've never been so busy in my life, but for the first time, I'm actually like really married to my career and to my passions, and I never felt like I gave myself the opportunity to do that. I've always been sucked up in saving the world and saving a nigga and saving family and saving friends, and this is the first time that I've been able to commit to saving myself, and I feel very fulfilled, and I'm very hopeful and very excited about the journey ahead. So
yeah. I know that's right.
Oh my God, that almost made me want to cry a little.
I love CRAMEL.
I'm here for it. In the words of the powerful, graceful Mariah Carey, if you believe in yourself, holla God. Hold on.
Uh-oh.
If you believe within your soul, hold on tight and don't let go, honey, because you, bitch, can make it happen.
Right.
Yeah.
And y'all know where I've been. I've been doing me. Hello, God. And without further ado, I would like to introduce a guest today. In the effort to build bridges of unity, we sometimes have to call ourselves to the carpet in order to have real in-depth conversations that could possibly move in the right direction. Again, life isn't about making friends. It's about making connections. It's about understanding where people come from and how we deal with things. Mostly how we respond to things, too, is what creates the human being. So today, very last minute, but on point and on time, especially for this platform, I would like to introduce to you Cordae. What's up, boo?
Hi.
How are you?
Hey, y'all. Hey.
Hi.
Not the awkward silence.
Let's be honest here. This is definitely uncharted territory, especially for us. You know what I mean? So to have you here on the platform is probably going to be a huge surprise to people. But I'm definitely interested in the type of conversations that I think are going to happen. Ooh, child. The spirits are here, honey.
Witchcraft is witchcrafting.
Nah. Hey, guys.
Hey. Hi, G Status Season 1.
Hey.
Uh-oh.
That's
where
I know where they from. That's how I met Mr. TRAMEL too.
We are far beyond invested, but no, thank you guys for having me.
You're very welcome.
Um,
Well, it's
I
opportunity.
for inviting me
You're
on
very
a
welcome.
platform with a panel. That's awesome.
Hello, guys. Well, we were supposed to have this conversation more of a one-on-one live situation, but what better way to have it with the platform that is dedicated to creating unified moments and having conversations that may, be a little difficult to have, but I feel like that I'm in the right space to have the conversation as well as everybody here on this panel. And I believe that you yourself are also in the right headspace to have the conversation as well. So I would like to start it off by going back a little bit, because again, this is the first time me and you actually sat down and where we're both in the right mind frame to carry decent dialogue. So for you and your experience, going back to where things fell out with me and you, what do you recall? Can you speak on your experience with what led us to having a lot of the situations that we did?
I can't honestly be at 100%. I can't recall a lot because so much happened, if that makes sense. It's just so many situations that happened that I guess that kind of led us here in a sense.
I don't know what's going on.
But yeah, no, I can't recall one specific thing. I think it was just a lot of back and forth in a sense. A lot of strong opinions and things like that from both ends. But I can't recall one situation. Does that make sense? Or is that too?
It has been a while, so I can understand, especially in the spirit of not holding on to certain things, and so many things did happen. But I can remember from my perspective, when I was reviewing the first season of Blue Status, I'm very opinionated about the things that I see, and I was coming at you, pretty hard in my judgments, and you were not taking kind to those things. And me and you reached out. We did have a conversation, and we were supposed to schedule an interview to talk, based on a lot of the commentary that I would give on, you and how you presented on the show. And then one episode came out where I actually did agree with something you said, and at the last minute after that review, I felt, again, this is my perspective on how I took it, you basically never showed up for our scheduled interview, and that same night you ended up sitting down with the Royal Couch and having an interview with them. And then when me and you spoke about, how I felt about you doing that, you said to me, well, I felt like there was no reason to talk because after your last review, you finally understood me. So I felt some type of way about that, because I was like, okay, just because now that I'm speaking good about you, now we don't need to have a conversation anymore at the interview. But when I was speaking, from your perspective negatively about you, that's when you had a lot of things that you wanted to talk about and you wanted to say to fight those so-called, perspectives that were put on you. So that's for me, like how everything started, because I felt slighted because at the time I was a much newer creator. I didn't have a lot going on my platform like that. And I just felt like, okay, well, now that I'm speaking good about him, it just, that's where it started for me, at least. And I felt slighted a little bit. And then everything after that was just, I'll take some blame and say that there were things happening in the web reality world, like around 2 years ago, where your name would come up. And because we had our little tit for tat moments, that I was writing your name pretty hard. So I can admit that I probably kept some of it alive when it should have been, dead, because you weren't at the time even really speaking about me. But then what carried it further was me, Ebby, and Really B did a live talking about new up and coming web series shows. And there was one show that you were supposed to be executive producing, and we had made some comments about the show. And you went on the next day and did a public, dragging us for filth and all that shit. But I know right now that you, Ebby, and Really B are in a good space. But me and you have yet to really have a come to Jesus moment, if we can. But that's why we're here now, to just settle it off. Does that any ring a bell to you?
No, it all definitely rings a bell. I can remember all the situations that are concerning for you.
Mm-hmm.
Well, firstly, because this is so awkward. Hey, y'all. I'm
Hi.
Cordae. can I do a quick hello? And I
Yeah,
don't
do your
want people to be
thing.
confused. Okay, so I'm Cordae. I was on a show many eons ago. 20 we filmed that, what, Tremel, like 2017?
When Jesus was born.
2018.
It came out 20. Did it come out 2018 or 2019 though?
We filmed. We we started the process in the end of 2017 December. We started filming officially 2018 January, and
So
we wrapped April 2018, and it came out 2018 in June 20th.
cool. I just said that I don't remember exact dates, but I just want, the panel really be, YBTV, sorry. And that's so sad because we haven't even formally like had a introduction of like, this is who you are and this is who I am beyond what we see on the screen. But that it was 2017. It was a very, very long time ago. And I think a lot of times you just simply grow and you change. Back then it was a lot. It was a lot and it affected me. Soon I think everyone will find out. Like, it affected me harshly. Coming from Charlotte, North Carolina, at doing music, for years, I was always, encouraged and, praised in arenas that I didn't think I would be. I was just like, okay, I really want to do this. But, I didn't have how to. Nobody really, helps you and your family. They all just like, oh, it's a little dream, whatever. So I think coming from that into an arena where I was highly praised, won North Carolina like Artist of the Year. I was opening for Monica, and then all of a sudden, I moved to Atlanta, and I do this show, and it's the exact opposite by like 3 times the people. And I was in a situation where I was never spoken to in a certain way or disrespected or frowned upon. So I think it affected me tremendously from the show, from filming the show, to the green screens, to the reviewers and the commentary, which brings the relationship I have with, a lot of us on this panel. So I think that's kind of, where a lot of that started and why I can't recall so much of it, because it just all felt the same from everybody. You could have said 3 nice things and 1 mean thing. I was only going to hear the 3, mean things at that point. But, again, that was 2017, and it's been a long time. A lot of, growths and changes, and, like you said, I'm in a better place.
That's good. One of the things that I think had us going at it a lot was things that I would say in my commentary about your personality or who I thought you were on the inside. And I think one of the things that stuck with you a lot that I would say about you is that you had like a dark spirit or something like that. I know you would carry that with you.
Yeah, I think that was the biggest thing. I think one of you guys said I had a dark spirit. I was referenced to like the devil and all kinds of stuff. And I don't know, for me, it was just really crazy because though I can come off direct, harsh, underhand, shady, or whatever case is on screen, people that are in my circle and that are closest to me probably have never seen me upset with anybody in my circle. I'm a very bubbly personality, and I'm very extroverted as well. So I think that for me, like, hearing that from someone else, and it's a narrative that had been already carried for a couple of years, it was just like, you really don't know me to start talking about my spirit kind of moment.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't know. I think I definitely was highly offended about that, and I think I expressed that. I don't think that I hide being offended by you guys or that you guys can affect me. I think that's one thing I feel like I've been true about, and I've talked to each of you individually about. So I think a lot of that came from the personal attacks. I don't care when y'all attack, my music, my singing ability. It's more um, the personal attacks, and then taking those critiques on me vocally or my music, and just like you said, carry, carrying them. So I mean, that to me is just kind of like, okay, y'all be overdoing it because we done heard some people on platforms
This is not on you. Ooh,
release
sorry.
total and utter just horribleness, but it just seemed like because y'all had a disdain for me, it's like, okay, let's go ahead and attack it all. So I think it took me a while to be able to deal with that end of it. And in the light of it all, I've succeeded and I've done great and I'm doing amazing, and I'm in the mainstream industry, and I work and get a check for it. So I had to really realize that regardless of what people who don't like me say, there's a ton of people out there that are gonna just be like, you're amazing. So, and when you kind of like eat that up, then it's kind of like, you gotta do what you do for those people and for yourself, and the other people, you just gotta forgive them and move on.
So I do have a question for you. So could you see though, but looking back, because I tell this with everyone, people that I've interviewed on these web series shows and everything, could you see looking back how a lot of those character assassinations that were coming at you, could you see how some people could be valid in the way they expressed it because of the way that you were portrayed on the show? And even in the arena of how sometimes that you would treat people.
I feel like in many ways, I get why people were hateful and they kept that energy, because that's the energy I was on with them, right? That was the energy that I would come on interviews with. Um, by the time the show came out and confessionals were out, I was already just in a different headspace. Everybody knew when I came out at the reunion that, like, I'm only really there because I was dating the producer, because at that point I was done. So I think a lot of people got a whiff of reality. Like, I think people got, how I felt, what I was feeling during the process. I think a lot of people watched the show and they're like, oh, well, they pop off, they say this, they're like this on camera. Off camera, they're really like dehumanized. And that's just a part of the industry. Um, Outside of the cameras, I'm going to be affected by what happened that day on camera and what happened after the fact and what people said about me. So I gave that energy. So I feel like you said, I can understand, because that's the energy y'all were going to give me, because that's what I put out there. What you put out there, a lot of times you receive that back. Or you receive love or hate or death threats.
Because that's where it always was with me. I watch how people treat other people. I watch how you guys act on the shows, and even how you respond to certain stuff. I would, even when I do reviews now, it kills me that I only get comments when someone's trying to combat a piece of commentary that I've made about them. But when I'm praising people and I'm giving uplifting them, I feel like I never even get the attention, and I'm not the only content creator that feels that way. But that's what it was for me, and I was like, "Damn, okay." So when I'm lifting y'all up, I don't get nothing. But when I'm,
well, again, like I said, and some things that I had to learn and grow from along the way is, as creatives, as real artists, as people who have been doing it for 10 years plus, they go through this situation sometimes, as I did, and didn't get hard, like I didn't get negative critique. I got critiqued negatively because I went to school and I studied classical music. So I got critiques and like negative criticism, but I didn't get insulting negative criticism ever. Ever. Like I didn't. I wasn't out on the internet like that. Most of my shit, like back then, everything. This was 2000. Just to give y'all like, some people like back then. How long ago? This was probably like between 2005 and 2012 when I started, you know, my career for real, for real. And that wasn't when the internet was like super super popping for Black people, at least. Justin Bieber, yeah. So all of my stuff was live. I think that anyone who's ever been to a live show from me has had a great experience. They get a great show. So I've never got negative critique. So to have basically culture shock, have someone calling you a goat and all kinds of shit, you just kind of like, oh shit, like it's culture shock. It's different, and it's like, who the fuck you like? You go off. You know, you kind of lose it, and I lost it for years.
Okay. Well, moving on. I know. What's up, Conscious? How you doing, boo?
Hi, I'm wonderful.
I'm gonna segue into another little conversation piece.
Okay. Yes. Well, to piggyback off of YB's point, Cordae, not every blogger was anti Cordae. I actually became a huge fan of you after you and I had got formally introduced because, like anybody else, I was reviewing the show and had only saw what played out on television. But once you had reached out and kind of tore my wig off for, you know, having a preconceived notion, we ended up, you know, conversing and ended up doing an interview that took 3 takes. That was really awesome. And it was what I thought, embarking upon a genuine friendship from there. So like you, of course, this feels awkward a little bit because a lot of conversations that probably should have been like officially had in deepen have not been. And so now we're all existing in a space, being professional and cute. And I find this
Smoking weed. I ain't being professional. No, I'm just joking. But go ahead.
but now we're here. So my question to you is, I mean, I don't know if you want to go into. I don't know if you want to go.
Oh no, I'm an open book.
I mean, are you as open of a book as?
And I do want to be clear
I
about this real quick because I would like Cordae to understand, like when I reached out to you about coming today, and the conversations how we're going to go, because I don't want you to feel slighted. Is this space is about clearing the air, having conversations that maybe we can have a meeting of the minds at, and leave here with a better understanding of each other. So when we're coming, the way that we're coming on our commentary, just trust and believe it's not an assault on you, okay?
No,
and that's really the reason for this get together. So
yeah.
Conscious, I'm sorry, go right ahead.
Well, so I felt slighted by you when something became an issue that had not been an issue until whenever it became an issue. So
I definitely get what you're saying. And the whole, well, I mean, I don't think it was about TRAMEL with this situation. It was about somebody else. No, so can I give history on us?
who?
You.
Oh yeah, sure.
Okay, so yeah, I watched an interview, and this is an interview that bothered me, that you had with TRAMEL, and I just felt like, wow, like I felt backstabbed and betrayed, and I think
By who?
by TRAMEL.
Okay.
And it was hurtful, but again, sometimes when you're in that headspace, you only hear all of the negative. You don't hear anything else, and anything that was meant a certain way, you're going to take negatively or in the worst way, just because that's the headspace you're in. So I think there was for me, when someone kind of speaks on you, not by opinion, but like in a sense of a lie, it's kind of like, okay, well, how can you fuck with a liar? So it really didn't have a ton to do with you. It had more to do with me and the headspace that I was in the moment. And that's why when I reached, because we would talk for hours, like literally for hours. So I think that once I kind of got through some things mentally, and I kind of said, like, Cordae, that was just, it's kind of dumb and petty that you said that you're not going to speak to this person because they are doing X, Y, and Z and speaking to this other person, not you, Tramel, somebody else. That was just kind of, it was childish. And in those moments, I had a childish moment. And of course, like I told you, like it was petty, and we probably should not have stopped speaking for that reason. And I'm glad that you accepted my text.
Well,
I know we're
I
supposed to have a,
I accepted it partially because I'm like, why are we having it through text instead of having
yeah, we did not have a phone conversation, and I know you had
And I'm upset because you've been on to have plenty of phone conversations and show up here and show up there. I mean,
yeah,
me can go over there and me can go over here and etc. And I'm like, okay, but you didn't prioritize that conversation with you and I. That's interesting.
I think for me, like, it's not a good thing. It's not a good look. But I definitely had to get past those relationships and in a good place in those relationships before I could understand where you were coming from in that situation. It was a more, like I said, it was more of a self-serving thing or selfish thing. And I think sometimes we are that way to protect ourselves from being hurt in the situation. So I did need to have conversations with people that you wanted me to have conversations with beforehand. But I did get to have conversations with the people who I care about and I need to have conversations with. So it brought me to a place where, like, oh yeah, I'm definitely going to call him, but I know our conversations are hours long and I don't have hours in my day.
All I needed was, I'm
I
sorry, a
know.
beg of repentance from you, and you are a goddess and a god and amazing, and I'm just a shit turd for, the predicament that I put you in.
No, in our
Whatever
situation,
it is that you desire that I do, I'm at your beck and call, CTV.
unlike in some of these situations on the panel, I completely am like sorry for anything because you've been nothing but great to me and a great friend. And I treated you, I just kind of cut the situation off for no reason, just because I was upset and I was being petty. So I apologize.
You know what? I was going to unload, but you're taking the level of accountability that a scorpion bitch needs. So I can receive that.
No, you literally always try to be completely understanding, and you give people, in a sense, not the benefit of the doubt, but it's almost like I have a reason to trust you in this situation, so I'm gonna do it. But here's my perspective. Like you have a level of understanding. Unlike, I'm gonna say, with YB, I think my biggest issue with you at this point, not at that point in the game, it was just a whole bunch of shit. But like bringing it to now, and why it's so frustrating or hesitant is because normally when I hear you speak about me or even some others that you have a disdain for, it's almost like everything that they're doing positive or they're doing for themselves or that's in good merit. Now I can't speak for everybody, but I can speak for me. What is a lie? Like they're really not doing it. I would like to see the receipts, and it's always this kind of like constant jab at the good things that, you know, some people may try to showcase. But then, you know, in retrospect, it's also what they're not doing is this is a big jab. Is there's no winning. And it's not fuck winning. It's not that it's no winning. It's just like there's no acknowledgement of, you know, the positive or real things that people do. And I just think that sometimes you can lack that acknowledgement, which kind of it makes you just devalue everything else that you say. It makes me devalue anything else that you would say, because it's like, okay, you had it out from the beginning. Like it, and it just that's my biggest thing when it comes to you at this point. I've come to the acknowledgement that everybody has their opinions. Y'all can review on your terms, blah blah blah. But when it comes to actuals and factuals, I don't want to be called a liar in a sense, or, you know, any of those things.
I think for me, and I understand where you're coming from, but for me though, when I come at people, I try to give even with the people that I do have a heavy disdain for, child, which there are plenty of those bitches out here in the world. If I do see that they are doing something positive or they've accomplished something, or I do try to acknowledge that as well. But like you said, you create a null and void kind of attitude towards situations if it's more so negative than positive. Like I can give, like when we had the whole like 10 top sexiest people situation, like even though at that moment in time I look at you a certain way, I was still able to give flowers, so to speak. You know what I mean? So I felt like in that way I was being completely unbiased, because I could have put someone else on there, but I did feel like you were deserving of, you know, what I gave you in that moment. So I feel like I do a good job of balancing it out. Yes, there have been moments where I've ridden a lot longer and harder than I should have, but that was more so just like we explained to you earlier in the DMs. Like, I'll have a lot of shit going on. It's not fair to take it out on people, but at the same time, when that's all we've been with each other, it's easier for me to go all the way left than go all the way to come back to the right side of things. You know what I mean? So I will apologize, especially when it comes to like reading in a certain way where it's not based on facts. It's just trying to hurt. You know what I mean?
Yeah. No, and I think that's why I had to reach out to EB Reviews, and I need to learn y'all like real names, because I call y'all.
Her name is Ebby
Reviews, and Really BTV, which I've always kind of had a connection with her. I've always hit her up. I did reach out to them because I felt horrible for some of the things that I said, and I could see how hurt Evie was, and I was like, Cordae, like, now you're becoming like this spirit, and you becoming like everything that they feel like you are, because you are just like doing the absolute most like right now. So I definitely reached out to them months and months ago, and like buried that hatchet and tried to, you know, support them genuinely every since that funeral. You just have been a little bit more difficult for me to
I think between
for me to reach out to, because while I feel like Evie, she definitely speaks.
Her name is Ebby, boy.
Evie definitely speaks from a place of reviewing the show and her experience of seeing me on the show. Really, it's always just felt like my older sister. I've told her that from the beginning. So whether she says anything bad or good about me, I just be like, you know, like, I gotta take it. She has a level of decorum where I just respect her. I just don't feel like it's good to disrespect her. When it came to you, it's just like, I don't know. Just, it's some of the things that you say, like you said, it came from a different place. It was personal. It was attacking my factual standards and who I was and all those kind of things. That kind of stuff was just kind of like, okay, well, bitch, look, let's go. And yeah.
Because I think a lot of my frustration with a lot of the encounters that we had with each other is My goal in life, even for myself, and I hold myself to this high standard too, is I like to try to get people to see the true depths of themselves. And I think a lot of times in my encounter with you, I never really thought that you were being yourself. I never thought that you were being who you really are. I always felt like everything for you was about the cameras and the moment and creating these situations that would only benefit you, especially from our, like I reminded you about our first moment together with the whole interview thing. Like, okay, now that it's no longer, now YB's on my side now, I no longer need to have this interview with him to combat the things that he's been saying. And I felt like that to be true throughout the time that I have seen you, you know, in the social media world. And every time you align yourself with certain situations, it seems like it was only for Cordae's benefit and not for the real reasons. You know what I mean? So who you are now and who you are on the social media, and every time we've had a run in, that's truly who you are.
I feel like regardless of anything, I walk alone. Like I don't need anyone by my side, but I do need people by my side. I learned that along the way. But in that moment, in all of those moments, I think even I know me and Tramel are in a weird place, but I think I would hope he would even attest that I will walk alone and I'm gonna walk to my own, you know, beat of my own drum. So I don't think that was ever, oh, now they're on my side type thing. I think for me it was now they're understanding me. So they may be open to understanding me. Before, when it's just, you know, constant coming at me, it's like, oh well, they can't understand me at all, and they definitely don't know me if that's what they think of me. Like for me being in my place, that's what I'm thinking. So when you show me a moment of understanding, which, you know, might be saying something favorable towards me, then I'm like, okay, look, now we can have a conversation. And it worked out with some people, and others it didn't.
Mm.
But it was never to get people on my side. There's too many people hate me for me to try to convert everybody to my side.
Well, let me ask you. I have a question for you. So considering kind of like your first run with reality TV was rough, you had to learn the ins and outs of being criticized for better or for worse, all of that good jazz. What are you taking forward with you now based upon that experience? Like, are you better with that criticism? Do you understand that you will be disagreed with, you will be called a liar, people will think you are a narcissist, and that there's no amount of you talking to you blue in the face that could alter what some of these people are going to think?
Yeah, I definitely, since the show, there were a lot of things that I did and experiences that I had that I never thought that I would have. Whereas now in my life, if I were to ever be like in front of the camera in a reality show, since I understand why I have the things that I have, and I understand why I'm walking in the light that I'm walking, and I have like I understand these successes, and I understand how I earned them, and I get it. So no one at this point can kind of really tell me. That's why when people say certain things, I just kind of like it's a piss in the wind, because I get it now. I understand me, and I have a different feel of confidence. Back then, I was insecure and I didn't understand like why people were saying things. You know, I didn't get it back then. So I would handle it differently in the sense of it's not gonna affect me like I let it affect me back then, where where I didn't sing. Since that show, I did not sing like live and on stage, like other than, you know, little karaoke's or whatever. Like after that, I think my last performance was like on that show, just because of everything that everybody was saying. First, it became, you know, it became, okay, well, they they don't like me, so they don't deserve me, so I'm not performing in that arena no more. Too, like, oh my God, maybe I'm that horrible, so I'm just gonna pursue something else full time. So whatever the case is, and then it got to, you know, okay, Cordae, like you still selling this, you're still doing this. Like, what are you doing? Like, do you know yourself? Do you not know who you are? And so now, I'm recording an album. So it's just a level of confidence. Like, it's a level of knowing who you are at this point. Whereas before, I don't think I completely knew who I was and had the security because I had never been tried in that way.
Mm. Okay. Oh shit, where'd he go?
He died, Jeff.
He died? No, girl. Don't say that.
Connection.
Like his phone died.
Okay. Tramel, you have anything you'd like to add to the conversation? Yeah.
Let me see.
Because I know y'all, you had your 1-2, and I do know that y'all have all, had y'all come to Jesus moment. But since we're in the spirit of throwing it out there, let's throw that ass in a circle.
Yeah, let's go ahead and throw some things. Now, I'm a little confused about like maybe one or two things that you said. I gotta get clarity. Let me ask first before I just go off in there. But you said something about me and Conscious's interview that I did with him, and you said that bothered you. What bothered you about that interview? Because I'm a little...
Okay, so I think I don't even know how much we can say because of what we said. So
I was just strictly talking about the interview because I don't remember.
Well, that it had a lot to. So when we've had it, damn, this is kind of messing up stuff. I'm gonna get in trouble. So we had a conversation, and when we had that conversation, I was speaking about how I felt. You put the turmoil in not getting to know a certain person. I felt like you had put that on me. That was what I was talking about.
Getting to know a certain person who...
I don't speak that name.
To my job?
Oh, okay. So
I felt like when you were asked a certain question and it was discussed, it felt like that you were saying that the reason that y'all were not able to be friends or get close or whatever the case was because of me and that person's relationship. And I think for me, okay, well, first, yeah, that's what I was talking about. I don't remember. Don't ask me exactly what you said because this was too many years to remember. But yeah, no.
Okay, well, what I will say about that is I don't recall saying it that way, or if it was taken that way, I do apologize. But there's nothing or nobody in this world who can stop me from having connections with people. I just either click with you or I don't. But I never felt that. Okay, so let's just be honest. It was a running thing that people said, right? I know this. They said this in their interviews, whatever the case may be. Oh, Tramel's cool, but he hangs out with Cordae, so I just really just don't want to be going there. But Tramel's cool, but I just can't with. So that is a truth. That is not a lie. My effort to... I never put forth any effort to actually go be friends with people because they said those things. It was not out of loyalty. It was just out of more so, I don't want to be bothered with that type of energy. Like, if you can't be friends with people, it's just not going to happen. Like, I don't need friends at the end of the day. Like, we're either cool or we're not. Like, I don't have no problem with you. But that was not a lie. It was definitely a truth that if they didn't want to be friends with me because of you, that is a truth. And that's not my truth, but it was theirs. So I don't know how you want to take that. I do apologize.
No,
I feel like that was my truth.
That doesn't bother. That okay. Wouldn't bother me that someone told you not to be my friend. Like, that sounds like a conversation that literally would happen at a slide. So I wouldn't be bothered by that. But again, I can't go that far back. I'm sorry.
Right. No, it's fine. It wasn't like a conversation that was had between me and them. It was a conversation they would have with interviewers about me personally. Yeah, like them knowing me.
Certain statements I felt were made whether it was on the show by that person or in an interview by you, I felt like the consensus was the reason that you and that person weren't friends the way that y'all seem to be cool at this point was because of Cordae. And that for me was just, it was a little off because I felt in my heart of hearts that the reason that I did not give that person the opportunity to be in my space and I went hard on that person was because of the spat that y'all had. Because I'm an incredibly like loyal person. So if you don't like somebody, 9 times out of 10, it's kind of like, okay, well, he don't like him for a reason. I don't have to like him. So I'm just gonna, you know, I'm gonna be on your side with this until I see something different. I just felt like I saw things that, you know, was evidence to why you did not feel a like for that person. So to me,
I mean, I know you talk about, and we definitely it had nothing to do with you, the reasons why I started not to like him.
Oh no, I don't think it did because I wasn't in the picture at that point. So
no, yeah, well, it started like in the middle, but a little bit more so after the filming, like the things that were happening, well, after rapping, but like during confessionals, then the real beef started, honestly, between him and me, and that had nothing to do with you. Actually, he went harder on me, and that was one of my things. Like, he went harder on me, and I was like, I didn't even do nothing to you. And that was a conversation that we had to have. And that's what he expressed to me. His issue with me was you, and I thought that was stupid. And so we were able to reconcile off of that. But okay, I got you.
So with that understanding, that is something that can be. I mean, we like we discussed before. We actually do probably need to sit down and have an in-depth conversation, but due to circumstances, we couldn't. But that was one of my biggest issues because I don't ever want to be viewed by people who think that I'm a narcissist and I controlled someone and I was a puppet master and I was a bad spirit, to think that my spirit and all of those things influenced you not to be friends or have a disdain for that person. So all of this shit in my mind is a cycle. You know, and this all happened really at the same time. One minute I'm hearing that I'm a narcissist, I'm the devil, I'm evil spirited. The next minute I'm feeling like you saying that I influenced you not to be friends with somebody to the point that y'all almost fought. Like, all of that shit is a cycle for me. And it's a buildup of, this is why I probably can't fuck with YB, and this is why I wouldn't fuck with you. Like, that's all just it went.
Okay, so what I'm gonna say is, like, I can understand how that could be a thing, but I'm gonna let you know that I'm just gonna put this advice out there. I'm gonna put it out as advice. Moving forward, you should really you should go deeper into situations with people and interactions that you have with people, because all of the filming was done and you and me didn't fall out until way after. So how you can associate a situation that happened during filming when we were cool with a situation that happened months after when we stopped being cool, and then all of the things in between, how you can muddle those together as one simple thing and then attribute it to like so many different situations, that is very confusing, and it's a little bit problematic because it makes it look like people are just doing things to you and you can't specify why, but you can say, you're doing things to me, and I can point out this, this, and this, and this, but you can't point out time frames. You can't point out what you did. It just makes it look like people are just attacking you or coming at you or making assumptions about you without any backstory, because the backstory is lost. There's no timestamps, because I can give you dates. I can give you times. I keep up with this stuff because you can't I don't want to ever be in a situation where somebody says I did something to them and I don't know why the fuck I did it or what I did or why we're beefing or anything like that. Because I generally don't go around creating issues with people. But if I do have an issue with somebody, I can tell you what month, what year, what time frame it happened and why it happened. Like I can tell you the exact breakdown that you and me had. Because before then, I was cool. We were cool. We had we were having fun. It was a real good time. We did some things. It was cool. But like after that, it was just like I can point out every single situation that was bad. Well, and it started way after G Status had rapped. You and Ja were still together, and then y'all broke up, and then we were still good for a good part.
Yeah, oh, it all of this and what I'm saying is not a when something happened or when something didn't happen. All I'm saying is for me, as we were filming and as the project happened, even after the project, we were cool. I don't know what happened. Even when we fell out, I'm still going to respect your space. You're going to respect my space, whatever. But when you say in my mind, because obviously I heard it wrong, so I'll accept that because I'm past it. And you said that this was not your reasoning. But in my mind, after we were cool for so long and we built whatever we built, you saying that the reason that you and that person could not be friends to me was just kind of like, no, that's not true. And I don't control what you do with your mind.
You don't. That's why, but that also makes it look like you have no accountability for the reason why we did fall out, though, because you're just trying to blame it on one situation between another person, because he had nothing to do with why you and me had a problem.
No, this is completely not about why we had a problem. It's why the problem went on and it lived the way it did.
That was for you.
Yeah, for me.
Okay.
For me.
Oh, you gotta say that. You gotta say that because that wasn't in my.
Oh yeah, no. It had.
So you had a problem with that, and I had a problem with like 15,000 other things. So
no, I honestly say, regardless of how many 15,000 things you had an issue with me, was with my only issue with you was I felt like you colluded with that person about calling me a bum. And the fact that you made it seem that you, that person, in my mind, you and that person were not friends, or y'all did not build a friendship.
Who is the person?
And I influenced that.
Who's the person? Can we speak?
That was my only
Angel.
So I'm gonna say it because he's not gonna say it. So one of those people was probably Sherrod. Another name was Charlie. Because Charlie, and I'm gonna say it because I'm just so tired of hearing it. I really am. In the first scene that we filmed, I'm gonna give you a timestamp.
Let's get into the minutia, honey.
I'm just gonna give it to you because I'm tired.
Let's wake this up, girl, because I'm sleepy as hell. Let's handle it. Go ahead, TRAMEL. Tell the true Tuesday, bitch.
Let's get it. Let's get it, baby. Okay, so we filmed G Status season 2, 2019, right? We filmed from April to September, right? The whole show starts with Charlie's listening party. That was filmed in, wait for it, that was the first scene of the show. It was filmed February.
I know it was filmed because he invited me to come.
Exactly. It was filmed January or February 2020. So that was like a good 4 full months after we had actually wrapped. Right. So all of the shit that had happened, all the fights that we got into, we had to go make pretend like we was just meeting each other for the first time again after so long, just to make some shit happen for Charlie's listening party. Right. So, mind you, me and Cordae had not been friends the entire 2019, and we are now in 2020. We had been, there were some things that had been said. There were some things that had been done that he did, that I did. We just wasn't fucking with each other. It just wasn't happening.
Let's be
right. Clear. So of course Charlie comes to me and he's like, "Oh, you're like, oh, we're pretending. It's acting at this point. Okay, it's scripted." Okay, so I say, oh, I just don't hang out with certain people anymore, you know. And he was like, oh, that's good, you know, you're moving on and blah, 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 blah. He said that to me in the scene. It's in the scene. You can go watch it. It's time stamped. It's in there. Right? So he gets in his confessionals, which I am not present. Not
He
present
said
at
bum
all.
on camera.
He said bum in his confessionals. You can go watch it. It's there. I invite you to go watch it. It's there. It's time stamped. I never said it. Never came out of my mouth. He never said it to me, to my face. He never called. We never even mentioned his name. Sorry. Didn't call you a bum. And I didn't associate with. He just said, he said, you saw him associate with certain people. I said, well, there are people who I wish people, I did say, I wish people would have judged me for my own personal character instead of calling me like a follower of someone else. That's what I said.
I just think,
but he didn't call you a bum in his confessionals. That had nothing to do with me. I was not present for that filming.
I would have been happy for you to move on and do your thing. Like that was the only reason I watched the first episode. After that, I was just over it. But I was happy for you to go on and do your thing. I'm sorry that you felt like in that moment we were not friends.
Because we weren't. Because we were supposed to. You wanted to hang out, but you didn't want to hang out unless it was on the film. You said you didn't want to mend the friendship, so we weren't friends. No.
Let me give it from my perspective.
Okay.
Like we were not friends. God knows I am apologetic for that moment. Okay. I felt because I sent a particular text message to you that it was just inappropriate for us to be as close because I felt like you felt a certain way about it, which I respected your space. But
I didn't feel a type of way about it though.
Sometimes in my mind, you can I would rather let things go when I know that, you know, it's not bad blood there. It is what it is. And that's how I handled it. Thus, when I saw you, maybe before the show came out or after the show came out, at Denzel Phillips' party.
And what I say?
You turned around and you hugged me.
Did I?
Yes. So when you said certain things in a certain interview, I was like, that's completely not true. You did not hate me. You did not go back and watch the season and say, oh, because what I said about Sherrod need to go into a certain place, that I was this demon that you could not be around because you just saw me and you hugged me at Denzel Phillips' party in
let me backtrack by
my car. And you were walking in front of me with Carl.
I was
turned around,
and I was. And what did I say to you? Because I did not say that, and I may have hugged you, but what else did I say? I said, did you want to talk to me about something?
Now, mind you, I'm okay with us not being friends in that moment. But if you do not like me and you don't fuck with me because my spirit is evil, why would you go out of your way to embrace my presence as I embraced yours? The same. So for me, I was completely thrown the fuck off. Maybe you were drunk that night. I don't know.
Oh, okay. So,
but
no,
that was literally right before the show came out. And when the show came out, it's when you did your interview with CONSCIOUZTV. And we had not talked since then. So for me, it just seemed very odd. It was odd for me. But you know what?
Let me tell you this because I think you really got your timelines really fucked up.
That's not a timeline fucked up. I was filming Elite ATL, and you said that we were falling out.
And what were you really actively trying to do?
Have a conversation with you on camera.
Huh?
And you said that the biggest part of our fallout was because I didn't want to have a conversation with you on camera. The last scene we filmed for my show was that night at Denzel Phillips' listening party, his stage performance, and you saw me after the fact for the first time since we had our falling out about the text message. So I'm not upset about it because, like I told you before, when I love somebody, I love them. So I'm not going to just like hate you or like think you this phony bitch or whatever the case is because of a stupid conversation. My point is, I don't get mad for no reason. I don't point fingers for no reason, and I don't blame people on camera for no reason. You
Cordae,
did what you did.
Stop. Please stop.
After the fact.
Ooh, stop.
Period.
Please
And you
stop.
went on this interview
Ooh,
after I had
stop.
a conversation with
In the name of G Status season
I know
2,
he
please
remembered. I said,
Please
I
stop.
don't get this because I just seen this nigga like a
No.
month ago.
Please stop.
And you hugged me.
I'm
But
not
we're
gonna.
not friends, and I'm evil.
What
and
I'm not
you
gonna
watched
do
the
is
show
I'm not
back,
gonna call you
and you
a
could not fuck
liar.
with me because
I'm gonna
it was
just
a
say you have
comment that I said that you
your
said
facts a little
first.
mixed.
Hold on. Can I help? Can I just help
Yeah.
a little bit? It sounds like what happened is that
He's confused.
Tramel, hush, Tramel.
I'm sorry, you confused.
Hush. What it sounds like is that things got really funky and really weird in between the space between the first scene of season 2 of G Status where you was at Old Boy's party.
When did you film? When was Denzel's party? I mean, when was that concert?
Denzel's party was while we were filming Elite ATL.
When was that date? Do you remember?
With you, and that was December because my birthday had just happened. December, so it had to be like January when that happened. December, January-ish. So we had a spat. Apparently, it wasn't really a spat, but you felt like, "Why don't I want to talk to you if it's only on camera?" Period. Left it alone. So I was like, okay, I told you to your face.
When was TYKANATURALS memorial?
Oh, I don't know. But
because I spoke with
you were with Gardini in the car.
I was with Gardini. And that was the first time that I actually had a conversation of negative feelings towards you because you said I was a bad friend to you and you had been trying to get me to film with you.
I know.
And I remember after that, me seeing you at Denzel's listening party and me confronting you and saying, "Did you got a problem with me or you want to talk to me?"
No.
And you was like, "Oh, we'll talk in due time," or something of that
This was after
sort.
the conversation that you had with Gardini. I was you were on speakerphone or whatever case is.
Right. So
at that whole
you knew what the energy was. It was not friendly.
After that fact, I pulled up in the garage and I was getting out of the car. You and Carl were already walking outside of the garage. You turned around and we did not talk about anything. We hugged each other.
And I said, no. I said to you, I said, "Do you want to talk to me?" And you gave me, "Oh, we'll talk in due time." And I just left your ass alone.
And that is a Cordae
classic. We didn't hug.
That is a Cordae classic move.
So we did not hug each other.
If we did, I probably did hug you, but I said,
we
hugged, "Do you want to talk to me?"
And you walked in. I felt like in that moment, okay, we have our little small issue, but
I'm Southern. I know how to be cordial.
And we're not friends. Are you gonna embrace somebody? It could have been, you know what? I don't fuck with you right now. I'm moving on. But you embraced a hug with a smile and walked off. I don't.
No. I said
it doesn't make.
Did you want to talk to me? And you said verbatim, "We will talk in due time."
Okay,
and then I paid it.
That doesn't make me feel like, in a sense, that you're gonna have ill will or you're upset with me.
No, I just thought you wanted to do it for camera time at that point, and I was like, through.
Weren't there also other elements to the reason y'all had a lot of issues too, though? It's not just that one meet and greet, if I'm correct, right?
No, definitely not.
Mm-hmm. I mean, there's another element, but I don't feel like that element, in my opinion, would make somebody well, I've heard your perspective, and I told you I respect your perspective, so I'm just gonna let you have.
What's my perspective?
That you were offended in the way that I.
Oh yeah,
let me say this though. That does come off very Mariah Carey.
I wasn't offended. I just thought you was drunk. And I was cool with that. Like, I was cool with it. Like, I was just like, okay, but I wanted us to just remain friends. Now, where the fallout happened, honestly, was, child, you just kept pushing the issue. And I was just like, no, like, I'm going to let him cool off. And then after that, it just never got back to what it was. And then you started doing, like lives with people, telling people I was a bad friend, and you tried to coerce Lando and Carl to try to get me into your filming situation so we could talk about it. And
but that was before that. Tramel. You can't
no, it all
throw that out
happened.
there.
It all happened simultaneously, baby.
But Tramel, you can't just throw that out there like
That's what it
that was
was.
not together. When I tried to cohort, whatever the fucking word is, I can't say it because you're getting
We
me.
know you've had some wine,
When
child.
we had that conversation, that was when I was filming my show. I was filming Elite ATL at that time. When I was filming Elite ATL, that was way before we even had a blow up or a fallout or even had a conversation about falling out. The last conversation that
You're
we
wrong.
had was literally with each other. The last conversation that we had was about filming together or doing the whole thing together, and you were unsure or something like that. I felt
I didn't
like
want to do
that moment, I'm like, okay, you don't want to film my show just because of the whole job thing. That's
well,
cool.
no, I didn't. That was part of it.
That's
But
just
also,
how.
I didn't want to do.
And look,
I didn't
it's
want to be
just
a
how
part
I
of the
felt.
content.
It's just how I felt. I already told you. It was a mess. But my point in any of this is, in anything that you're saying, you gotta understand the timeline that you're giving ain't you getting it mixed up.
No, baby, you
And
was getting the mix all the way up.
Hold
I'm
on.
telling you, I swear on God, like I don't
thought you don't want to have.
I don't forget nothing. I remember hugging you. Yeah, I'm gonna hug you because I ain't got no beef with you. But like, it was like, what is it? Because you've been trying to get me to film with you forever. You can ask.
Can we hold on, Tremaine? Hold on. Can we just insert something right there? It sounds like y'all were dealing with a complex of shit that stemmed from the show, shit that stemmed between y'all personally, shit got awkward for a lot of reasons. When you hugged Cordae, I think to Cordae's point,
that was confusing. I get that.
No. I get it. I'm saying that you were raised Southern enough to be polite to anybody, but I think Cordae took that as, okay, we're still okay. So the rest of the stuff that happened going forward surprised him because things you were doing just out of just having social etiquette was being interpreted to him as we are fine. So he could not make sense of the energy that came about later because he's like, well, we just saw each other. We're fine. We hugged. We're like, and it kept getting discombobulated between you guys. And it's okay. The both of you did terrible in communicating. Can we chop it up to that? The both of you.
I mean, I communicate just fine. But no, I can understand like his. I can understand how he can misinterpret that as us being cool, but like in the same time frame, shit, I got a whole video that's timestamped where he was talking shit about me with We Were Born on their live, like saying I was a bad friend and I called you a clown, and I know that hurt your feelings, and I was just like,
but Tramel,
it all happened around the same couple of weeks. I mean, it's not like.
That was
if I hugged you, you went on live, and you said I was a bad friend, and I was like, I had to watch the shit. I called you a clown a couple of times. Man, but played the snippet that I took. Like,
I'm like, seriously, I'm not negating or defending anything I said about you or any of that.
Yeah.
The only thing I am saying is I cannot go back and apologize or be accountable for me feeling like, okay, we went through a rough patch. Like, we went through this little thing. And then you see me and you hug me thinking like, okay, it was just a rough patch. Time healed it. We'll be good. We'll talk about it. It'll be what it is. And then the next time me seeing you speak about me was in ill form. Like,
but you didn't see that until June 2020.
Yes, after that, I did go say things and feel a certain kind of way based on my feelings. So I get it. Like, I'm not saying that I didn't say things and I didn't give you reasons to feel how you want to feel and all those things. However, just do know I sent the text to you. We had that whole little separation because of that text, right? Well, it's out there. So the text basically was, I wanted to smash TRAMEL. That was the text.
You wanted to charade TRAMEL, yes.
That was
No.
okay. That was not the text.
That was not the text.
The text was, I wanted to smash TRAMEL. In that moment, I'm like, okay.
Were those the exact words?
I was intoxicated. I was sitting with my homegirl.
No,
I was like, and I told her,
it was very innuendo-ish. It was not direct at first. It was a little strange.
For my best friend, what do you think I should do? Typical dumb blonde moment. I was blonde at the moment. She like, well, tell him, like, say something to him. I was like,
that is not the text, baby.
Come off like,
the text was this. Let me tell y'all, because he playing.
And
he
the
playing.
reason I felt
the text
was appropriate.
He said, "Hey, what you doing?" I said, "Oh, I just got home from a blind
I felt
date."
like the text
he
was
said,
appropriate.
He told me to clean my ass.
And I did not release all the information.
I've
never the reason that I felt like that text was appropriate.
So
Number one.
I said, hold up. No.
Hold on. Yeah, hold on. Cordae, hold on. Let TRAMEL tell this story real quick, because now let's go back to the you need to clean your ass part. Like,
he's like, get prepared. That's pretty much what he said. Now
I don't know what I said, but I was fucked up. It was very inappropriate.
Like, come and where? I was like,
this
I said, what do you do?
But listen,
I said, you drink. I said, you drunk.
In my defense.
I thought it was
hold on. Let me tell you something though. Cordae, this is funny to me now, but like looking back on one of the things I used to press you on is the fact that, child, you in your mind clean your ass because you knew in your head you were telling yourself, I'm fucking him tonight.
But listen, this is why I felt like this, and I'm just this is why I said what I said. And I never even said this to TRAMEL, because me and TRAMEL haven't even been able to have a conversation. But I have said it to TRAMEL.
Turned down by that's like Trey. I live
his
for that.
Opinion on
Make
it.
sure you
the reason I said that, and TRAMEL, you can, if you gonna come in, you cannot have me close the door trying to be loyal and keep loyalty even after we have not been friends all this time. The reason I sent that text and I felt comfortable to do that was because not too long before, when TRAMEL went to, I think, the Dominican Republic or some shit like that, he sent me a text randomly, and I feel like it was late night. I could be wrong. I don't know.
I ain't sending you no text. I would have myself a good time in DR, baby.
It said something along the lines. It said something along the lines of, I just came back from Dominican Republic. I didn't get none, and I want to get my back banged out. Some shit like that. Yes, you did. You have your text messages, and I know you got your receipts. It was when you went out for Pride. You went to either Dominican Republic or DC. I can't remember which one it was, but I'm pretty sure it was.
But why? If Republic. I even and I wouldn't.
Oh my God!
You sent me that text, and I was like, "Wait,
why would you say that? I was be talking to you as a
like
friend,
that. We have never had that type of conversation."
That's a head home girl. I ain't even getting none.
TRAMEL.
And that's when I showed it to my girl Ashley. And I was like, well, he sent me this a couple of weeks ago, and I've been thinking about it since. So is this like a thing? And she was like, yeah, text them. Mm-hmm. And that's why I sent, that's not the only reason why. But I was more amped to come at him in that fashion because of that text message. And if you have your text messages, please look it up, because I tried to, and I have a new phone, so I don't have the text message. But I swear on everything I love, and I would not lie about it, because did you not go to the Dominican Republic and come back and say that you said you didn't get none? You said that you want to get your back banged out. It was something along the lines, maybe not those words, but something along those lines. And I was like, wait, why would he send me that text?
Because and I'm just my friend. I don't know. But I did. But if I would say, hey. If I wanted that, if I'm a direct bitch. If I wanted that, I would have said I wanted it.
You are talking to your friend about some.
I talk to all my friends like that. I used to talk to all my friends like that. Like that was
exactly. So that's what I'm saying. Like I was misdirected, and I take full responsibility.
But I never. I understand that too. But I'm not saying that your text offended me to the point where we could not be friends. It's just that when I told you no, thank you, and you proceeded on, that's what made it weird for me.
What you said was, you did the you know how someone gives you a compliment and then they say no thank you.
Yeah, I give you a compliment because you're my friend. I didn't want to tell you like, girl, no, I don't want to fuck you. I just want to say like, girl, no, it's
no,
like,
listen,
no, it's not that.
The way that you did it, it just seems
I said
like
I don't think you're an ugly person. I said you're attractive. You're just not me for me. That's what I said.
TRAMEL, the way that you did it and the way that you pressed it, it seemed like you were upset because of the way that I came at you. And
well, yeah, you did treat me like a little bit of a buzz down, like I was like sloppy seconds or something.
Okay, hold on. I'm gonna ask a question. So let's put it, because y'all going 100 miles an hour. Slow stuff down. But let me ask this question.
I'm sure gonna let it fly, honey.
I can't tell. So
like, it's not something I'm trying.
Hold on, Cordae. So which one is it? Like, had Cordae sent you a Romeo and Juliet oriented bust down text, like, you know what? I'm sitting here at the bar lonely and I'm on hard and I'm in my feelings and I'm recounting the past and I just maybe feeling like I maybe got some feelings for you. I don't know, TRAMEL, like, but I just want to express this to you. Like, maybe we got the potential to whatever. I don't know. I'm at a mixed emotions. I think you're a wonderful person. Like, what's good? Like, hey, he sent you something more on the whatever you consider a respectful come on. Would it have made anything different? Would it have changed your response? Would it have been, okay, sure, come over? I mean, no. Okay. So then,
you want me to tell you why? Is there a follow up? Or you just want me to say no?
That sounds like a Tyler Perry show. It's great.
Well, I mean, no, because he just said to you that you were upset about the way he did it. I'm trying to figure out if no matter how he did it, it have altered anything.
So it wasn't. So this is with the real feeling, right?
This happened to me.
The real feeling was, Cordae, I know you. I know we've had conversations about people.
Exactly, yeah, I get it.
Other people that I'm close with, particularly, and you trying to, interact with them, right?
He
knew about that.
So Cordae was a big ass hoe. You wasn't trying to be bothered.
Yeah, and I'm not even gonna lie to you, like,
that ain't true.
There was. I'm not gonna lie to you. That was part of it. Yes, like he had tried to. He had a thing.
You didn't want to be around.
I want to lay this out. I want to lay this out for what. So you're saying I tried to fuck your roommate, or did your roommate not hit me up? You gave him my number
because and you told him to come over one good old dark rainy night, and he said you treated him like a bust down, and that's why he didn't go over there.
Okay.
He said you treated him. You said he was like, yeah, come over here and fuck me real quick before I get in a relationship. And he was like, oh, bitch.
Oh, no. Damn.
I just wanted to make sure that we was on the same page. I didn't.
Yeah, my roommate did not like how you tried to put it off. So he just wasn't interested. But I knew about that, that played in my mind.
The roommate, that's somebody I didn't really know. We were friends. That you tell it. We were just getting to know her for all
and all the other aspects.
This is better than telling
together, and how would that look, and what would that be?
Look,
like?
y'all not gonna try.
I'm not doing that. So
I really.
It was just like a no. It was a no. I could never.
Please,
the way it came off to me from TRAMEL was the way that I said it and presented myself offended him.
Well, of course, I would never want you.
Well, if you get a text message, if you get a text message,
and he says the way that I said
girl,
it,
clean your hole.
So what happened after that was,
be prepared.
Do not fucking lie. And he was like, "Oh, well, I pressed the situation," because I'm like, "Oh wait, that's my homie, so I don't want him to feel offended like I'm treating him like that." I'm like, "No, let me take you out. I will take you on a date." Blah 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 blah. So that is like, I didn't mean to offend you. I just came at you wrong.
You said, and I quote,
at
least I'm quoting
already.
So TRAMEL said that you said in the text message Get that ass ready,
I wanted to
basically.
But
hit.
to Cordae's point,
like
he was
he
drunk
feels
and he was in his feelings, and it was a lot going on with him at the time. So I'm sure it didn't come out as eloquently as it could have.
But here's the thing, though. If we've been getting to know each other, as he calls it, in my opinion, we've been friends for thus long. We done went through the trenches with each other, from reunion fights to people dragging us and us popping off and popping back and all this kind of stuff. And it's just us having each other's back. You would think that, in my mind, I wouldn't think that he would be like, oh, he
Here we go.
has a fuck. In my mind, I would just feel like, oh shit, he want to experiment to see if this could be a thing. If we have been friends so long and you're the only person that have my back, that's what I would think.
So
but
let me
hold on. I admit it. I did the wrong thing, child.
I don't know.
Bury me.
Maybe it don't make
So we're just fucking our friends now.
Hold on, wait a minute. Wait. Cordae, shut up. Maybe, because this makes sense to me, because what Cordae is saying is that, look, when TRAMEL got off of the plane from Africa, he wanted him some Nigerian dick and wanted his spinal cord blown apart. No. And then when TRAMEL established that he can communicate that vulgarly and explicitly in a friendship, Cordae followed around on his vulnerable night and didn't think it was inappropriate to send him a text that could be perceived inappropriate. He was just reciprocating vulgar exchange because there was a precedent now for that line of communication, except Cordae directed it toward TRAMEL. TRAMEL was just making a general statement about just needing his hole to be gaping and turn into a rosebud.
Shut up.
Cordae was actually directing the energy toward.
My bad. Leave it
to listen here. I'm not confirming nor denying that I possibly said or sent that thing. I don't know. I don't know about that because that's just not something that I have not done. But it's also not something that I think I would do, or a space that I was in, because the message that was, I mean, I think you and Ja broke up when, like, March that year, 2019.
Y'all just, that was when y'all knew.
And I came back from, and I didn't go to DR. It definitely had to probably have been Mexico, and because there was during the springtime, like spring, and DR is definitely August, Memorial Day.
This wasn't spring, but if that's in August, then it was that. I don't think the semantics of where you went is important. I think
that is important because the DR, I got my life, and I didn't want for nothing at that point. So it definitely had to be Mexico.
I'm not gonna lie on you. I might say a lot of shit about you, and we might go back and forth, but I'm not gonna lie. You sent the text. That was why I was like,
if I did send the text, I was not. This is not one of these things that I'm not going to deny or something like that.
So to clear this up real quick,
you curved me, and I was like, okay, cool. I'm gonna give him his space. Maybe it's awkward now. I got rejected, blah blah blah, and you took that as let's not be friends. That to me is what I just, when we seen each other, I was like, okay, well, it's not that big of a. Like, that's not I'm sorry.
Well, after that was the beginning of it. Then I started filming G Status and all that other stuff, so I got wrapped up into that. So
it all just went
everything that happened after that, there was of course radio silence because G Status never came out. So I never said nothing about him that he could verbally see. I never really spoke to him. So everything that went on after that, and y'all know because y'all can attest that G Status season 2 did not come out in 2019. Right, so we were filming the whole time, so he knew nothing about how I really felt. Like, I never said nothing about him. I never did no lives about him because I don't do lives about people.
I didn't do anything.
But he was filming his show, and I was getting the only communication I was getting was from Carl and Lando about you wanting me to film something.
TRAMEL, you just rejected me. And you got a whole situation going on, or I don't know what was going on in your life at that point. Why would I feel so comfortable to come to you and be like, oh, let's do X, Y, and Z? Mind you, I did hit you up and ask you for the conversation. We had the conversation.
But that was like many moons after.
It was before the fact because Sky said something. Sky was sitting right there. He said something about it. It was, I think it was in December of some sort.
Yeah, and that was also very damaging to us ever reconciling, because I'm hearing all these conversations that you're having with all these people about our friendship that you just were not having. You had my number, and my number was not ever changed or anything like that, so you could have called me.
I don't know.
All I know is you was trying to coerce me into doing things that I just didn't want to do. I didn't want to go film on no show. I didn't want to talk. I didn't want to have no mediation. If you wanted to talk to me, you could have called me.
That and for me, and this is where we agree to disagree, and it's fine because my show I canceled my show. It didn't come out. It doesn't matter. So
what happened?
You were filming Josh's show, and you felt like you didn't want to come on my show to have a conversation on a platform and on a media palladium. I wouldn't say the platform, palladium, where we met and we started our friendship. To me, it made
that
sense.
Wasn't where we started our friendship, though, because I didn't like you the first time I met you. Like, honestly,
girl,
I met you at Sherrod's party.
Yeah, and then I asked you how old you was, and you said, "Don't ask me no shit like that." I was like, "Oh, girl."
Okay,
but then after that, we became cool.
I told. So, motto, cats up and catch up, baby. At the end of the day,
it's for real. I'm here for real.
You felt some kind of way about you rejecting me. I don't get it. So we just gonna leave it at that.
No, let me just let's fix this. I'm sorry.
And my
listen, I don't have a problem. I know we're just going through it, and we've never actually.
It's on camera.
No,
it's on camera. Carl telling me that when I had the conversation with Carl, I'm like, I think Tramel's mad at me because I tried to come at him about X, Y, and Z. Carl said, "Well, I thought he already told you that's what he wanted." And that was on camera at Kalon's art show.
Yeah, Carl was lying.
But the thing is, it didn't make me push the issue. It didn't matter because I listened to what you said. I respected it, and I gave you your space. Did I want to have a conversation on my show, and did I feel slighted because you would rather film G Status at that time instead of doing a appearance on something that I was doing? Yeah.
So let me tell you why. Let me say this as calmly as possible and just be as honest as possible. Me doing G Status by myself was freeing for me because it was me coming up, and as you can just attest to it, me coming up from under someone and having my own identity, being my own person, right? The only reason I did not want to film your show is because I had no ties to filming your show. I had no reason to be there. It's not like I was going to be a mainstay on your show. It was like, why am I going over there? And then if I was to go over there and you have your confessionals about it, I don't know if you're going to rip my ass apart or whatever the case may be. Like,
he wanted to, girl. He wanted
to. I didn't want that type of energy.
Shit.
Like, I just didn't have no, like, but at the end of the day, like, I never really had a problem with you expressing feelings towards me or in that way or whatever. It's like it was not offensive to me. Of course, I did feel a little like, because you did say one thing, like, I was just like, you just broke up with Ja, and he was just like, well, if I can't be with who I want to be with, like, I might as well be with you. That's how it felt. That's what it gave off. And I was just like, no, I deserve to be with somebody who, and I said you do too, like, you deserve to be with somebody who really wants to be with you as well as I do. Like, that was what I said. I have the text messages. If you want me to send them to you, I sure can.
No, listen, I've never disputed.
Right. So, and then moving on.
For not one.
Oh, shit. But yeah, moving on, it was kind of like, I don't know. It's just a lot of weird things just happened with us. And at the end of the day, like, I never hated you or nothing like that. I never had a real issue with you. I did think that some of the things that you did were weird. Going on lives and talking about me, because I never really did that to you, right? You sat up with Dre Simber and talked about me. That was the final straw for me, honestly, when you did that. I still have those clips if you would like to see them.
There's 30-minute conversation that you've had with with Conscious TV about me. So you
Huh?
have had conversations. You've had conversations.
Yeah, then those were responses to conversations
But
that you have had. So it's kind of like
it happened, and you
it
got.
happened. And
And
I'm past it just like you are. And at the end of the day, like
if
I
you
don't have a
have
problem with you.
that,
I'm just saying I never had a
I could.
issue with
I
you
had
personally.
we've had all of this, all of the turmoil before the actual fallout. We had before the fallout. I say that to say that we already had the turmoil. So if I needed to say something about you and I had something to
But
say
it was
about
something.
you,
It was
I
so.
could.
Let me tell you this. Let me tell
But
you. Let me share. Let me give you a
it
little
was
light.
to me,
The shit
our
that you were saying
conversation,
about
our
me and
conversation.
your lives was the same reasons why you were mad at like YB, why you mad at Ebby. You were coming for my personality for no reason. Like
Well, no,
you are
I
not a
came for what
reviewer.
for
You were
what
not
I
a
knew in response of
blogger. You
what
were
you
somebody
did.
who was my friend, and you were
You
saying very
can say that
disparaging
Ebby
things about a
and
season that you
YB
were
doesn't know
on with
me.
me.
I've been around you. I've been around. I had been around you for a year at that point. So I
Yeah.
so compared to what I was getting from you in those moments, I formulated my opinion, and that's fine. Like it's a done.
Right. And I
I don't
cussed you out about it, huh?
I don't want you to feel like I am blaming you for anything. For one,
Yeah.
I'm not blaming you for anything. The whole thing in general is quite petty and childish
It
for not
is.
either one of us getting a check for a show.
Absolutely.
So
And
in
that's why I never
space,
talked about it.
space
This was not for me. I never
I,
went on no lives to
I
talk
know
about
what
your
in life is
character
more
on
important.
a live. I did it with Conscious because Conscious asked me, but I never talked about you in the
But you,
negative, nasty
but
light that you talked about me. I didn't go there. I
but
just
Tramel,
want you to know that I never had that type of energy with
know
you.
that like I like when I sit here and I say, okay, you know what, I respect that, and I wasn't trying to just smash you. I really wanted to date you. That's me letting you know, like, no, this was the intention, and I accept where you were at. You have at some point have to do that for me. Your intention of what you said in that moment might have been something completely different, but what I saw and what I received was that you thought that caused you not to be friends with people on the cast. I was evil, and you couldn't fuck with me after you saw what I was saying on the show in confessionals. In fact, we hung out after the fact. So
Okay.
you gotta
So
understand.
let's just do
I'm
this. I will
but you made
apologize for those,
it so
right?
fine.
I will apologize for those things that I have said, but I also want you to apologize for the things that you have said that have been very damaging and hurtful to me. Like I can apologize for anything that I ever said about you because at the end of the day, like I never really had a problem with you. And so it's not hard for me to apologize for trying to be mean or petty or whatever the case may be. But you did say things about like my personality. You came for, you said I had mental issues. You said you also did some deep digging, like we talked about, into my streams and whatnots because you just couldn't believe that I hit the iTunes charts. I was just like, okay, well, I'm not bothering. You said I was a bad friend. You said all of these things publicly,
I think I was
right? And I said
I
public
don't
things about you, right?
I
So I just want us to
I never
get to that place. I mean, we already at that place. I mean, I guess we just rehashing because we were not even supposed to have this conversation. I was supposed to be the cool
I
one.
told you that why you want to go there. I will go on record and say I don't know where you're getting I say you were a bad friend from, but I don't recall ever saying that you were a
You
bad.
said that to Jatwan. I had the video. That's why I called
Okay,
you a
well,
clown.
again, I don't recall saying it. So maybe I was intoxicated. Maybe I was high on weed, and I don't really smoke weed, so it's new for me. But I don't ever remember saying that. I would like to see that video. I don't think that you were a bad.
Well, you can ask Jatwan because you said it on they live. I don't have that video no more because I deleted all the
I don't.
negativity. But I have the other ones with you and Dre Simber talking about my personality and how I
I
need
did.
somebody to
I did.
film with and all this other stuff. And I just thought that was weird. I was like, you the only person I filmed with.
I did assess your personality from opinion of what I had saw season 2 and these things that we're having a spat
That
about.
was edited by your ex-boyfriend who did not like me. Oh, okay.
So I did make those assessments based off of that. But now that you're saying that that's not what you meant, that's how it came out, and you are telling me how you felt, I will trust that. And
Well, thank you.
and I will take that into account before I assess your personality again. But
well, I'm not going to be watching no more assessments of my personality because I am not a part of the web world any longer. But thank you for those kind words. And YB, I'm so sorry that I monopolized so much of the time.
No, that's actually fine. So
and finish. The only thing that I can say is, when it comes to you, TRAMEL, like I told you more recently, at the end of the day, if I did, you know how I am. If I don't fuck with you, I'm never gonna fuck with you again. So I love you as a. So if I had came up to you and told you that, then obviously you meant quite a bit to me. So anything that I have said and I've hated on, like I've told you, it was because we were in that space, and it was because sometimes when we are close to people, we want that reaction to know that they're feeling something because you're feeling something. Does that make sense, or did that really make any sense?
No, I know people do that.
Okay, cool. So that was a bad, place of judgment and some maturing that I will do. But yeah, no.
I appreciate it. No skin off. We're at 2022.
It's like a thing or maybe two that was birthed out of this 2-hour ass discussion between these ex-friends, not friends, co-workers, not co-workers here on the show. How do y'all feel about, so what as content creators, as people in this space, etc., how do we navigate people we're close to being associated with people who can't stand us? Like, how do y'all feel about how to handle those dynamics? Because what I'm noticing in all of these industry like spaces, we're all coming into proximity to people who don't like this one but love that one, and it's a lot of like cross-pollinating. But do y'all think there's a way to do that without it being an issue, or do y'all think that very strict lines of loyalty should be erected?
You know my point.
Yes, I know yours, Cardi B.
Well, it seems like that the issue comes from, we need to have this conversation too about like sexualizing our friends, because yes, there may be drink in the air, and yes, there may be this in the air, but it does seem like that could be one of the issues here as well. Like, how do you go from someone being your friend to being drunk or high, whatever the case may be, to saying, bitch, it's time to clean that booty hole out and receive this dick from daddy. You know what I mean? Like, that's a big step, and that could mess up some things as well too amongst the friends. Because even though you wake up in the morning drunk or not, you sent that message.
Yeah. And like I said to him, it wasn't that moment it came out like that because that's what it was. But I was okay with the position of it. Like, I knew that I had feelings for him at that point. I already knew that. That was just me trying to put it out there in a way that I felt like
the way that you used to is hoeing them out.
Wouldn't be too awkward.
Right, leading with your shablam.
Obviously.
I mean, this is the gay community. We lead with sex first. The love comes after. That's just how it goes in the community. But
exactly.
I do want to say, because me and I have these discussions all the time too, I actually think that it's quite romantic. I don't know, like, straight people fall in love all the time. Some of their long-lasting romantic relationships were birthed out of like two best friends of 20 years. But I don't think there's anything inherently flawed or sinful or wrong or inappropriate about, because you can't change who you're attracted to, for one. Like, you don't get to decide I'm not horny. Like, I mean, it's just, or I'm not in love, or I mean, of course. And if you're choosing your friends, honestly, most of us select friends and we want similar qualities in our mates too. There's not a big gap between what you're looking for in friendship and what you're looking for in a romantic relationship. So I don't know why we act like there's this, like it's so contrasting, because it's not.
And to me, in that situation, we were close enough friends for me to have those feelings, but we weren't close enough to friends where it just felt like we was brothers. You get what I'm saying? Like, we were close enough to where it's like, I can see you naked and be like okay with it. So to me,
hold on, who's doing that,
I would date my friend down the line. Like, I've always said that. TRAMEL has heard me say that because I actually had a boyfriend at one point that was like my best friend. And so I long for that situation, and luckily now I have that situation. But to me, it wasn't this
Awesome.
big, like, horrible thing because I had never tried to date any of my friends in the past. He was the only friend that I ever tried to date.
And then you try to fuck his roommate.
That
So
I,
when Tramel said, "No, God, honey, you can't have a
And
child." Someone at that house getting fucked tonight, honey.
Now, before you let that come out your mouth, because you know you word is bond with you. I didn't try to fuck his roommate. His roommate wanted me to fuck him, and TRAMEL gave him my number for that reason. So I don't know
Yeah,
why.
and you hit him up.
I don't
good
even
all night. You hit him up one night and told him, "Hey, come over here and let me fuck you."
Yes.
Serious.
So before I get in this relationship with Ja, and that offended him.
Oh,
and see,
he didn't want to be treated like
bitch?
So he didn't
Now
want to
you
do
going
that.
too
He
far.
didn't want to
What
be no
I said
side booty real
irrelevant.
quick.
Nobody wants to be treated
I'm
like
He said it was
about
not that
how
deep. It was not that serious.
I'm
So
that
he
I
and he ain't like Cordae since. He was just like, "Nah, fuck that."
what I said was irrelevant.
Now he did want to fuck him. My friend wanted to fuck him.
Me?
I gave him the number. I don't care. I'm not a hater.
You gave me his number because you told me that he wanted to
Yeah,
fuck.
he wanted to.
And
Shit.
I'm not.
And then, but when you presented it, the way you presented it, he was like, "Nah,
but that
no,
was
thank you."
the tone of the situation. I don't understand why tone isn't like 360. Me,
Ain't nobody about to sit up there and go run over there and fuck somebody potential man. Ain't nobody about to do that and not waste their good gas. And at the time, I think we were staying in College Park too, and you stayed in Buckhead. He definitely wasn't going out there for that.
Trust me.
But it wasn't like your friend. It wasn't like your roommate told you that he wanted to date Cordae. He wanted the dick, and it was that simple.
I don't know that shit. He want to get on here and try to act like I just don't get it. I don't get how this is such a I get how it can be uncomfortable, and because I have a whole, fiance situation.
As do I.
Exactly. So I get how that can be uncomfortable, and how it could be uncomfortable to hear it from me. I had to weigh those options before I sent the text. That's why the question was asked. But is it a big surprise? It could not have been that big of a surprise because at the end of the day, we were already getting to know each other. So I get coming from a friend is weird, but then if you really think about it on the other side, is it really that weird? No. So
No. See, and I think
so that's become normalized in your experience.
No, what is missing is not the issue was not with the way he it wasn't even the way he texted me. You know, that you're a nigga, I guess, whatever. But it was.
I love it. My booty hole is moist right now.
After the no, it was like a no. I don't want to do that. It was the conversations after the no. Like, I don't want to do that. I just want us to be friends. It was the continual, well, I might as well get with you because da this, and I'm like, no, and it continued with the no, and then that's what made it uncomfortable because we are friends, and if I'm cool with it. It was not going to be a big deal if I just told you no and you just accepted the no in the beginning. All I wanted was the no.
But what I will say again, the way that you put things out there when the feelings are intense, you have to consider, i.e. the hug in the middle of you thinking that we're not friends.
Well, that was way after, yeah. But I can understand that too.
Oh, I don't like how you put that out there to me. If it's for me, and this is just me, because I only can think for myself. If it's a no, it's a hard no. It's not, oh, we can't do that. I don't like how you just came at me, or I think you handsome, but I don't like how you came at me. Of course, then I'm gonna be like, okay.
That leaves a lot of room for interpretation.
Okay, and I can explain that too. I'm sorry.
You was trying to let the bitch down easy. We know. You was
I understand. Cordae is he is a person who I just didn't want to hurt his feelings.
Yeah, because
like
he got a big ass
make
ego,
him think
Cordae, so he was being
there was something
considerate
wrong
of
with him or anything like that. Because at the end of the day, he was my friend, and I know him, and I don't think he don't accept rejection.
That's why neither one of y'all
Right, that's what that was
No,
my, like,
no.
I think
right.
rejection.
So if I had known that, I should have just been like, no, bitch, that's gross. If I had known I was supposed to do that, I would have done that. But I thought that at the time I thought, hey, I still want to be friends with this man, and he's still cool. Like, but I don't think he's an ugly person. This is not one of those things like, you're just disgusting. It's just one of those things of like, no, I just want us to be friends, and I made that very clear. And that was the only thing that I really said. I didn't insinuate or innuendo. Like, I mean, maybe. I mean, I didn't but I also in the same time was saying,
somebody bad.
I don't like the way you were coming at me. Like, maybe with your next bitch, you probably might want to be a little bit smoother. But
this is so easy. Neither one of y'all are fucking wrong. It's like y'all
I always say I don't.
Y'all just approached the situation differently. That's what made it look crazy, but it wasn't necessarily wrong. Like, it's not. I'm trying to help you out, Cordae. We don't live in a culture where most people are socialized to look at their friends like that. Therefore, most people don't look at their friends like that. But that's the way we've been programmed. That's not really something that actually has any substance in it. So fine. Cordae did something new. He rolled the ball, rolled the dice. TRAMEL ain't, because he is one of those people who've been socially programmed to not see his friends like that. I don't know why the fuck my camera is acting up. See his friends like that. He was like, okay, this is interesting. And I know this bitch, and this is my friend. I don't want to break his heart, and I don't want to make him feel away. So I'm going to try to, in the best way, say no. I'm a nice no, but because Cordae was really pressed about getting in your booty hole and also walking you down the aisle, okay, he was like, he also understood that, look, it wouldn't be easy for you to see me that way because you've been socialized to not see me that way. So maybe if I just kind of be a little persistent, see if I can crack you open a little bit, and
literally and figuratively,
figuratively and literally. So it kept getting awkward to the point that TRAMEL just got turned off. It felt uncomfortable. Then a plethora of other high maintenance shit transpired, and then you all got here.
It's just that way. That's where we ended up at. It just happened.
That I didn't go on for days and days and days.
Like, oh, guys, it doesn't matter, Cordae.
It was not days and days. It was just like the day after.
You revisited the scene of the crime one more time at least, and it's fine. You had to make sure that your friend didn't want you. Okay, you needed verification and clarification. It's fine. You needed a 2-party authentication system at work to make sure that it was all right. I get it. It's okay.
But I think Cordae is a nice-looking young man. I think he's nice-looking, but bitch, I didn't want none. I just didn't want it.
Well, to bring everything to a close, because we've went a lot over our time, because I just wanted an opportunity for y'all to be able to get everything out. For me, in this situation between Cordae, I feel like I've said all the things that I need to say. So at this moment in time, I would like to, move forward. We don't have to hold hands in the field of life, child, and, sing the goddamn Lollipop Guild song, child. But I do wanted to, have this moment with you and say again, for all of the long, the journey that we've had, I apologize for a lot of the things that took place between us. And I'm glad that we were able to have this moment. I'm also glad that Conscious was able to, speak his piece, and you guys are able to come to your guys' understanding. And obviously, you and TRAMEL have some things that may need to carry over to some therapy sessions, child. And,
I have to actually leave this here because I can't continue. We can't continue to do it. We are good. We're fine. It's just, I think we never had this conversation, which is
okay.
But I understand where he's coming from. I do apologize for everything that has transpired. That's not really the type of energy that I ever wanted to give off about him or anybody, because I don't hate people. I never talked about his music or anything like that. I don't do that. That's not one of those things that I just do. So,
TRAMEL, you have a song called "I Hate People."
I do, and it was associated with some people. He was one of them. But
I'll see what I be saying.
But listen, if you listen to the song, it's like, bitch, I don't even like you. Like, girl, why is you fucking with me? That's what the name of the song is. Why you fucking with me? I ain't even fucking with you. Like, leave me alone.
Yes, Cordae has always been the one to start it.
And so, from on your end, are there any apologies from your end, Cordae, that you would like?
I've served TRAMEL apologies since the moment I made a mistake. He has them in his phone. He has them on camera. He has them today.
I ain't gonna lie, he has apologized, but like the apologies be like followed up with some bullshit sometimes. But I'm taking this one and we're gonna stick here. And I appreciate him.
Always try to understand. I apologize. I feel bad for crossing that line because I knew if I crossed that line and it went unfavorable, that we would never be the same again. And I took that chance based on how I felt about somebody. It's hurtful they take that in vain, but I'll move on. And
get on them, Cordae. Get on.
Let me just say this real quick. Everything is about how you come at something. And I'll never get this out of my head because this is so trade vibes. Like, make sure that booty hole is clean. Daddy is coming, girl.
Why do you keep saying that? Why do you keep saying that?
Like,
because you sent him to a place. That's why.
Just like when you say something like that, that just gives me like, you know what? Fuck this friendship, bitch. I'm drunk. We finna let this drink carry me through. And however this nigga respond is how he respond. I'm not saying I live for the shit.
You're right.
I'm a whore.
That was the exact approach in that moment. But do know, like I said in my defense, I did receive a text message a little bit before that, and it made
so you felt like it was open season,
comfortable to say.
How many times you gotta say that? Right?
Because he knows.
Damn, wait, that little hole. That is coming. Yes, girl.
And me and my friend touched his butthole. So my friend.
Okay. It was the audacity for me that it's just like, bitch, you better have that ass ready.
His sex game. So again, he knows that I've never had those type of conversations with him before. It's never came out of my mouth before. So obviously,
you ain't never told me about you fucking people.
Ooh.
You said, oh yeah, of course.
You're talking in the context of friendship, TRAMEL. Friendship.
Now he ain't never told me that he done got beat down by nobody. He ain't never said nothing about that until that day. He has never talked.
Well, I thought we was being friends.
PTO, prepare the others. Prepare the others.
Tell me about him fucking bitches all the time. I was like, well, shit, I was trying to be a little friend, but then I was like, yes, I did too much. I'm sorry. I apologize.
It's no wrong. Neither one of y'all was wrong. It's weird. Y'all making it like about a right and wrong. It's not a.
No, I'm just saying I didn't know that it was all that. I just thought that I'm like, this is coming out of left field. Like
I was like,
yeah, Daddy said be prepared. PTO, prepare the others.
I feel bad though, like because like what are all of the Cordaes in the world supposed to do? Like you know how many people
it's been time.
People, you know how many people are in friendships and probably got feelings for their friend, and
there's nothing wrong with that. I told him that was nothing. That was not the problem for me. It was just like, bitch, when it's a no, I'm like, no.
Well, let me ask you this question. Well, let me ask you this hypothetical, TRAMEL. Yeah. Hypothetically, does a friendship disqualify you from being able to transition into a relationship? Like,
absolutely not. I don't believe that.
Okay.
Those are sometimes the best relationships. I mean, I always preach to start off as friends, but I feel like it can get crazy if all you've known is just a friendship with someone, then out of nowhere, someone does make the move. But like both of y'all said, there was some things that happened that made one another believe that was okay to cross that line.
Right.
So, you know.
I think the biggest issue was what he's known about me in the relationship or other men aspect has not been the best, because at the time he knew me, I was dating someone that I knew that I was not going to be with long term.
Yeah, and be honest, you treated him like shit at
my
house.
You control the editing process. We get it.
Told that person that I knew because of his age in that maturity level that I didn't think that we would be together. That was understood. So
you had a nice ass, so I don't blame you.
Okay.
Hey.
Cordae, you made a corporate.
Because I knew
You made a corporate boss move. Look, I would have been fucking the editor as well. That was the only way to ensure a successful season on my part, is to fuck the editor.
I think that even TRAMEL knows that wasn't the case because we start fucking before the season ended. So I didn't know, for one, I didn't know he was going to be editing the show. Me and TRAMEL barely even knew who the boy was because I was like him and he was like, who? I was like, that guy over there. And he was like, Ja. So it was like, I didn't really
I was like, ew.
I didn't
But hey, have fun.
Was to the show and what role he would be playing in the long term. That just happened. So it had nothing to do with that at all. My thing was I knew he was too young for me. We did not meet in a certain place, but we were in a situation where we were always around each other. That was it. So he didn't see me in the best light in relationships.
Well, I know you also, publicly had spoke about having a lot of different issues when it came to that as well. So I can only imagine, the spaces that y'all were in at the time and the things that y'all endured. But nonetheless, I do feel like, even though I feel like we traveled down the yellow brick road here and everywhere around the globe, child, and we were there and everywhere, I do feel like we did get somewhere. And I do appreciate everyone speaking their truth and being transparent. And, speaking their point of views, child, and however, I feel like we have some type of understanding. And I feel like that's how we move forward. So I do appreciate everyone. Christian, I know you're not aware of the situations at hand, and this is to be the first episode of, you're coming out, honey. Hello, God, onto the round table.
Yes, it was.
Yeah, it is the first episode.
And Cordae, it's not going to be complete until I get a phone call.
I am going to, you know me.
But as long as you don't tell Conscious to have that booty hole. Yeah, I can hear it now tomorrow, child. Child, Cordae text me at 3 a.m. talk about some.
I'm gonna take it much better than TRAMEL did.
Right on that.
Yes, girl. Yes, girl. And shit, I get some message like that, child. I'm going straight for the Vaseline. Hello, God. I must have it ready. I said, yes, girl. Yeah, have it ready. I like being told what to do.
But I don't like how TRAMEL is doing it because the way they.
It's okay. You said you wanted what you wanted at that time, honey, and it is okay.
Look, I don't understand what's the big deal about gay boys doing shit that lesbians do all the damn time.
I'm just saying though, like I'm playing on it, but for me, Kat, you know me very well. It's the turn on for me. Me too. It's the bitch had that hole ready.
It's the energy.
I mean, yeah,
I'm here for it.
Yeah.
Closed mouth don't get fed. Hello, God.
And there are times that happen.
And he's not that far off from that kind of. I know people that he's fucked with and how.
Oh, honey, I know.
All the tea.
I know when you get drunk, you turn into a whole new person, honey.
Oh,
you turn into thug trade.
Yes, you do.
You let the kids know exactly. Remember that? You might forget when Sherrod tried to spill y'all's tea in G status #1 and the stuff that he was deciding back.
That whole situation because I've never lied about us having conversations, but I've never tried to fuck him. And he keeps telling people I've sent him a dick picture. I've never sent anybody a dick picture. And I, being this narcissist that I am, if I send out a dick pic, I would not care about send out a dick pic. Never send him a dick pic. And if he shared every other receipt in the world that he may have, why don't he have that receipt?
I mean, is the dick worthy to be praised?
I mean,
Oh, girl. Well,
I've had that happen to myself, so I would just leave it at that.
But Cordae, what was you saying? You saying that I'm not what? Oh, I get that type of attention from dudes.
Don't act like that's not. But I'm just.
No, it's not. Like I said, it's not strange for me to. I mean, shit. I used to do what I did, but I said no.
But
that's all.
And that's fine.
It's not weird. It was just. It was just a no.
Completely like that was foreign to you or off base, like you've never responded to that in a bend over way. So I just
Okay, well now you're not gonna say I'm a hoe now.
I didn't say that you were.
You saying that you're trying to say I'm a hoe. Now listen, I don't fuck a few people in my life.
Never mind. You're
I
right.
fucked a few people in my life now, but when I say no, know me no.
Let it go.
Know me, just know me no. I ain't no saint, but God damn it, I do say no sometimes.
So you are saying, TRAMEL, that it didn't even have anything to do with the fact that Cordae, like it didn't have anything to do with his relationship style.
It doesn't even. It had to do with his relationship style, but like the way he came off in that text message, like you're my friend, and like no, I don't want to fuck my friend. It wasn't like I don't get. I mean, we all got text messages like that.
Okay,
before.
So
and if you down for it, you down for it. If you
I have a question. So, are you used to having friends with benefits? Is that something that anybody's accustomed to? Anybody? I'm just a curious.
Not me.
Okay.
I can't. I mean, it's either for me if I can't be a friend with benefits. No, it don't work for me. Like either I'm fucking you because I really want to like fuck with you, or either I'm fucking you and I'm not speaking to you.
Okay.
I'm a whore, so it's the latter. It has
For me, it just depends on the dynamic of the friendship. If we're not that cool and we just are like club friends, then
right,
see a problem with it. But if you're worth losing, then
yeah, gotcha.
I will say that the part of me that's like totally dude. I have the capacity to compartmentalize sex with someone. So sex can stay as a recreational activity regardless of the closeness of the friendship for me.
All right.
Yeah.
I agree with you. I will say that I have the capacity to compartmentalize like the friends with benefits, but the people that I fuck wouldn't have that happen. They're not gonna want that to happen because I've tried that situation before and it didn't work.
Okay. Interesting.
And yourself, Cap?
Well, I mean, I can make it work if I have to. That's all I'm saying.
If you have to, make it sound like.
Exactly, I don't get that.
If you have to, what do you mean? If you have to?
No, but I mean, if I like to know up front, like this is what we're doing, this is where it's going.
I don't know that up front because sometimes you don't.
Because again, relationships of all kinds. Relationships start friendships, they can grow. Feelings can get involved. So there's a lot of things that you can't just forget about and think, oh, we're just gonna have sex and it's just gonna be sex. Somebody in that sexual ship is going to start to catch feelings at some point, and that will then change the relationship. So you
not necessarily though. Like,
well,
there are friends who fuck each other in between like relationships, and it's not a problem when one gets into a relationship. Like, it's not like a bleed over or anything. It's just like
sometimes
stuff you do out of convenience and proximity.
Right.
But that's the difference, state of mind from the original question. Can you do it? So if you have the mindset that you might end up having feelings, and then what happens? Then no, the answer for you would probably no, I can't do that. Is then something.
But what happens if like let's say you're casually fucking with a friend and they get into a relationship or whatever,
right?
And if that relationship gets serious, what if that your friend tells their partner, okay, me and Kat used to fuck,
right?
Like, how would that affect our dynamic if they don't want us to be friends anymore?
Yeah, that's always a sticky situation. Me, I didn't tell because I when with my current guy, I fucked someone that I befriended after we fucked, but it was like 5 years prior to us being in that relationship, so I never told him. But I end up eventually telling him because I was like, damn, should I just have to tell him this? Yeah. So, but if you're with somebody and they really want to be with you, then that's something that's a past. Everybody has a past. They're gonna come in a relationship. So if you can't accept that, then it's kind of like it's more of a security and trust issue, in my opinion.
Well,
for things just come.
But I got one more question for Cordae. So, would you say that you are secure, like that you trust your dude?
Yeah.
So he would be allowed to remain close friends with a friend that he has sex with in between relationships.
Absolutely.
Okay.
I'm just joking. Yeah, I mean, I wouldn't care. Like, first off, you can't ask me that question because I don't emotionalize sex with people that you didn't have emotions with when you had sex with them. Does that make sense?
Mm-hmm.
So I don't put that much value into sex or sex. No middle ground. So if that person they never or whatever the case is, then now if they dated and were in a then it would be a conversation.
Okay.
That's interesting. We might have to do a show on. I might need you on a show to talk about.
Yeah.
I like shit like this. It's fascinating to me.
For sure. I think that it just comes with time. You know, your tolerance for different shit comes with time. Because when you're younger, you're like, hell no. You don't see things the same way you see them when you're, a true adult. Like, because you lived your experience and you understand that there's nobody under the sun.
That these niggas ain't shit. Fuck them and leave them.
It happens.
Whatever.
Well, all right. That brings this episode of the Roundtable to a close. Cordae, I do appreciate you coming on and getting all of this stuff out. I feel like it was, a worthy moment, and it brings a wonderful close to the standing open, so-called beefs that we've had with one another. So I'm glad that we're able to do that, especially here at the Roundtable, where we try to unify the kids. Okay. Before we leave, I would like to give my quote, child. I do a quote at the end of every episode. And this quote is by, I think it's one of the Indians, girl, because it says Chief Seattle. So, child, whatever. Shout out to How. Okay? How. Hello, God. Many moons. All things are connected like the blood that unites us. We do not weave the web of life. We are merely a strand in it. Whatever we do to the web, we do to ourselves. Amen?
Amen.
All right, y'all. And to the chat, I really do appreciate you guys coming through. Anything you guys would like to say before we take our leave?
Great show.
My album is out right now.
Stream Leo.
Stream Leo right now. And Saturdays, Kitty Box Podcast, me, YB, and Jace.
Hello, guys.
We gotta have you on, Conscious.
I would love it. I'm down. Let me know.
That would be cute.
I'm down.
Okay.
This was a very interesting show. I mean, I didn't know much about the backstory, but I learned a lot.
I didn't know anything either. I don't have any issue with Cordae, so I had nothing to hash out with him. But
right.
It was just interesting to see y'all come for sure.
It really was. But I enjoyed myself. So I look forward to the rest of this. Thank you.
We look forward to you transitioning from Boost Mobile to Verizon, so you can get stream.
First of all, I'm not. This is Comcast. All right. So I don't know nothing about.
She's not doing too much casting these days.
No, but she's definitely taking all my coins though. So we're gonna have a talk with her, get her right together. But yeah.
Conscious, what you want to leave us with?
Nothing, just living and stunting and living on hoes. Just doing what I do best, just keeping it all together.
Keeping HR and check out. Human resource fish.
Right.
Hey, sorry, my phone died.
No, you're fine, boo. We're just closing up now.
Okay.
So you have anything you would like to say to the people before we go?
I do apologize once again for monopolizing the entire conversation.
This was supposed to be the show.
Yeah, that's what this was for.
Yeah, this was supposed to be.
We had already I don't think we got that far into details and stuff. So it was nice to have that conversation with him. I'm never doing that again. In life,
like a conversation that's complete now.
Yeah, that's a complete conversation for me. I understand where he's coming from. I understand where I made some fallacies in my behavior towards him. Maybe I should have been a little bit more direct, but trying to be sparing of people's feelings is just my personality, I guess.
There's
And
no wrong or
I
right.
don't think he's like a bad person or nothing like that. I just think that we just had an impasse of war words and shit just happened. So, but I appreciate YB for facilitating that whole conversation, and I appreciate Kat and Cap for just sitting there and listening to this shit that they don't know nothing about.
It's okay. I watched the show, so I kind of knew some of the stuff that y'all was talking about.
Yeah, I don't think nobody knew all of that. I seen a couple of comments, people talking about, so this should have been on season 2 of G-Stat. No, baby. No.
I mean, I didn't even know. We'll say that for another time. That's not a hidden north there. Because I was going to say something, but I don't even want to give life to those bitches.
Amen.
Oh, I said that's a new year, new me. Let me shut that. Let me be quiet, y'all. New year, new me.
Yes, end the live.
Guys, thank you again. And please be, child, excuse my fucking, I felt retarded for a moment. Sorry. Continue to like, comment, subscribe, and share. And hit the notification bell. That way you guys are updated every time I'm uploading something new. And again, guys, all the links to these beautiful panel members are in the description box for easy access. So make sure you guys are getting into them and all the things they have going on. Kat has music. He's a content creator. We have a podcast going on. TRAMEL is a musician child, singer, songwriter. Shit.
Coming out.
Content. Huh?
He has a compilation album coming out in March.
Compilation album coming out in March through Sony, right?
Yeah, distributed through Sony.
Hello, God. So y'all make sure y'all please get into it, honey. Conscious TV, y'all already know Conscious Child, another wonderful content creator. Make sure you guys get over there. Captivating Christian is going to update the kids on all things political and then some. Are you still doing the nightcap?
Yeah, I'm still doing the nightcap. We're just working out some scheduling issues, but we'll be back. And
okay, honey, because you get that soft podcast voice that he has, but until y'all get into the nightcap, you're gonna see the Captivated Christian is gonna stuff your hole, girl. You better make sure that hole is clean when you come over there.
Right, yeah. Please make sure it's clean. Get it ready.
No, it's always good dialogue, great conversation over there. I love it.
Yes, definitely. Adult conversation.
Very adult. How about that? Make sure it's clean.
Listen, I got a surprise for y'all in the DMs. Just wait.
Ooh, let's get off this shit. Dude, I love this. Thank you guys so much again for coming through, and sharing is caring, bitch. All right, y'all. Take care. See you all next week. In the words of the cats, meow. Same place, same time.
Same time.
Period.